Weilà raga, how's it going everybody? Welcome to another lesson in our Zero to Hero Italian Grammar series, where we're taking a look at Italian from the most basic of concepts and working our way up to the most advanced. We're once again in some advanced Italian here. I love this stuff. This is where you really start to have fun, in my opinion. At least for people like me that really love the finer points of a language. So today we're looking at the imperativo once again. Let's go straight on over to our digital whiteboard here. So once again, we are in the imperativo, which is called the imperative mood in English. I'll write that for you right here. Imperative mood. Oops, no. I'm just writing it in Italian. I always do that. I don't even know how to spell it in English. Hold on. Imperative. There we go. Oh, it's very similar. Okay. Imperative. That's funny. Imperative mood. Okay. Now, I am going to say we have some prerequisites here today. So I like to call them prereqs. So our prereq for this video obviously is going to be the present tense. Okay. So the indicativo presente, that's important. And whenever I just say presente, I mean indicativo presente. I always then make a differentiation if we're talking about congiuntivo. Actually, you're also going to need congiuntivo. Yeah, you're going to need congiuntivo presente. There we go. You're going to also need the congiuntivo presente. It's very important. So then maybe here we got to make that differentiation. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. So you're going to need the indicativo presente. Indicativo presente. Just saying what the prereqs are. You know, the videos that either you have to have seen or at least you know the content in those subject areas in order to really master this. Congiuntivo presente, and then our first lesson on the imperativo. Okay, which I will also have linked down below. Imperativo. Yeah, I would say that's good. That's a great starting point. Okay, cool. We're going to be doing a lot of review of what we did in that video, but definitely these videos are going to be utili per voi. Saranno utili per voi questi video. Okay, so what are we going to cover today? We're going to cover lei in the imperativo. Okay, imperativo. So I have not yet made a video on lei, so we're going to do a quick little, let's say, review lesson, really a lesson. We're going to do a quick little lesson on lei adesso. Lei is really easy, okay? We first are going to begin with tu. Tu is used to mean you when you know someone, okay? When you know someone. So you're talking to one of your friends, you're going to take every verb, put it in its tu form, and if you're just going to call them you using the pronoun, you'll say tu, okay? We then have lei written with a capital L. This is you when you don't know someone. When you don't know someone. Okay. Now, are there also other situations in which you can use lei and tu? Absolutely. You can know someone, but you want to show them respect or simply be formal with them. That is when you would also use lei. So, you know someone. But you want to be formal, or show respect. So what would be a situation in which you would use lei? Maybe if you're talking to your boss, you're talking to the head of some kind of company or like the head of government. Maybe you meet, the Presidente della Repubblica of Italy. You meet the President of the Republic of Italy, right? You would want to refer to the President of the Repubblica with lei. Now, what do we do when we refer to someone as lei? Well, and just one other point. It can also be with someone who's older than you. You know how you would call someone Mr. or Miss or Mrs., right? Signore, signora, signorina. You would use lei as well in that situation. There are situations in which you don't have to, even when you don't know someone. If they're your own age, you can use tu with them. It's basically a little dance. What I always say as a student of Italian, always begin with lei to be formal. When in doubt, go with lei. But also follow what the other person does. If they tu zone you, go with tu. If they lei zone you and you started with tu, go into lei. So just follow their lead. That's what I always say. All right, cool. So now, how do we normally do stuff? How do we take verbs and use these with tu and lei? Well, naturally, if I'm taking a verb such as parlare, and I want to say something like, do you speak Italian, right? I want to ask someone that question. So, do you speak Italian? Okay. How would I ask this question? This is not imperative. This is simply indicative mood right now, okay? Just to give us some foundation to work with, okay? When we're being informal, so I'm going to write it as this. Informal, you would say, parli italiano. You can also say parli l'italiano. You can put the definite article. When using the verb parlare, it's very common to not use it, especially in the spoken language, okay? So informal, parli italiano. If I'm being formal, I would say, I'm just writing shorthand here, I would say parla italiano. What I do, not only can you refer to someone as tu or lei, right? Use a pronoun to call them lei, but simply you take the verb and put it in that third person form. You could also think of it as like, if you refer to someone in the third person, there's like a little bit of distance there. Think about that. So, parla italiano. Now, let's say we're in a particular context and it's not very clear, because if you're saying parla italiano, that's third person, the lui lei form. Am I saying, does he, she, or it speak Italian? Or am I saying, do you speak Italian? Well, in that case, feel free to use the pronoun. So you can say, lei parla italiano, or for emphasis, so this is to be clear. Let's put it this way. So this is for clarity. I want you to know I'm talking to you and calling you lei. Doesn't matter if you're male or female. Okay? Lei with a capital L is male or female. Formal you. If I'm using lei not only to be clear, but for emphasis, I would put it at the end. I would say either parla lei italiano or parla italiano lei. So this is for emphasis. Emphasis and clarity. Now I forgot how to spell emphasis. I think that's right. Emphasis and clarity. And courtesy. Courtesy. I think that's how we spell courtesy. There might be an O in there. Anyway, let's write it in Italian, shall we? Cortesia. Because this is also called la forma di cortesia. Cortesia. Maybe that's why I'm thinking of an O. Anyway, cortesia. Okay? Cool. So basically, what do you need to know so that we can move on? Put it in the third person form. That's it. Doesn't matter if you're talking to a male or female. Lei, formal you. Let's move on. So as you can see, there's already a special treatment for lei in the indicative present. What happens now when we're doing the imperative present, when we're speaking as a command or an order, right? Because think about commands, right? I said in the last video, a command doesn't necessarily mean it's rude or impolite or a mean thing or bossy. But when giving a command, you do want to be careful, right? So your tone of voice, if you're saying please, thank you, excuse me, stuff like that, that's all going to help. And then also, the form of your verb is going to help. So Italian has like courtesy built into the verbs. It's pretty cool. Okay, so let's see how we do that. Let's begin here with an are, ere, and ire verb. Let's do that. So we've got parlare. So this is also going to be a nice review of what we've already done. I'm going to put here tu, noi, voi, and now I'm going to add lei at the end, okay? So tu, noi, voi, lei. So tu, parla, remember, are verbs end in a in the indicative. Regular are verbs in tu. Noi parliamo, and let's also put the exclamation. So speak, let's all speak. Voi parlate, and what is lei? Parli. Okay. Why? Why? It's kind of like the car was going good and then you hit the brakes and it just goes, you're like, whoa, hold on. Let's back it up for a minute. What just happened? Okay. Maybe you didn't feel that way. I don't know. Anyway, you use the congiuntivo presente form of the verb when using lei in the imperative. That's the rule. All right? Rule. Lei, formal. In the imperativo, Imperativo uses the congiuntivo presente form. That's all you need to know. For are, ere, and ire verbs, doesn't matter. It's across the board. That is la regola. That's the rule. Let's do another verb, and then we'll do some examples, or should we do some examples now? Let's just do some examples now, shall we? Okay. So if I'm telling you speak slowly, what would I say? Parla lentamente. Perché parli così veloce? Ooh, this is a nice one. Look at this I just came up with. Okay. This is an E. So, speak. This is me being informal. Speak slowly. Why do you speak, or why are you speaking? It can also be that. Why do you speak so fast? Okay. If I want to be formal, I would say, lei, for clarity, emphasis, and cortesia, all three, all right? I want to make sure there's no shadow of a doubt. Lei, comma, lei, parli lentamente. Parli lentamente per cortesia. Cortesia. Even the vocab I use changes. Lei, signore, even better. Signore. This is even better than lei. Signore, parli lentamente per cortesia. Perché, to finish the sentence, perché parla così veloce? Why are you speaking so fast? Using parla in the indicative in just the third person singular. That's what we use, but this is a command. One is a command. One is simply just me saying, why are you speaking? Why do you speak so fast? Hope that makes sense. I'm going to move on. Hope that makes sense. Let's look at another verb. Let's do scrivere. Okay. Scrivere. These are all affirmative statements. We're going to do negative ones in just a bit. So scrivere. Let's set this up. We've got tu, we've got noi, we've got voi, and now we add in lei. Okay? So for further details on this, if I'm going too fast, check out the video we did before, okay? For the tu, noi, and voi. So tu is going to be scrivi, because ere and ire verbs in the indicativo are the same. They're all normal, natural, indicative for the tu form. Noi scriviamo, and let's put in those exclamation points. Let's not forget that. Scrivi, scriviamo, scrivete. You guys, right. What is the lei form? What was that rule? For all lei across the board, any verb group in the imperativo, put it in the congiuntivo presente form. Okay? And what is that? Ere verbs swap places with the are verbs, and they now end in an A. That's how I think in my head when I need to think on my feet. Scriva. Okay? Lei scriva. So if I'm telling someone, let's say like I'm working in a store and I want to tell, or like a doctor's office, right? And I want to tell them to write down their appointment because they always forget. I could say, for example, Signora, per favore, scriva queste, oops, sorry about that. Let's just go back. Scriva queste informazioni. Information is often plural in Italian, okay? Signora, per favore, scriva queste informazioni. Lei dimentica spesso quando ha un appuntamento. Okay? So, what does this mean? Ma'am, please write this information down. Like, write this information. You could add some more words, okay? Write it in your notebook, put it in your phone. You know, you could say stuff like that. Lei dimentica, just using the indicative here, you often forget. Lei dimentica spesso quando ha un appuntamento. Putting everything in the third person. The only thing special that's happening here is the command is in the congiuntivo presente form. Signora, per favore, scriva Scriva queste informazioni. Perché lei dimentica spesso quando ha un appuntamento. Lo sa? Lo sa, vero? Si ricorda? Si ricorda lei? Si ricorda lei l'ultima volta? L'ultima volta? So what am I now saying here? Now I'm even using a reflexive verb, right? You remember, right? Lei si ricorda? Third person. Si ricorda, right? You remember the last time. Lo sa, vero? You know it, right? See how this works? Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful stuff here. Beautiful stuff. Let's now do an ida verb, and then I want to go into avere and essere, because we're going to do some irregular verbs today as well. So an ida verb, let's do pulire. Okay. Pulire. I got my notes next to me because I want to make sure I'm as clear as possible. So tu, noi, voi, lei. Okay. So got our little dashes here. Tu pulisci, noi puliamo, voi pulite. The lei form is the congiuntivo presente form. Pulisca. Okay, let's put our exclamation points to differentiate. Cool. So if I'm telling you to clean your room, I would say, pulisci la tua stanza. So clean your room. Pulisci la tua stanza. If I'm being formal, I would say, lei si prega. Oh, this is a command as well. Si prega. Oh, this is different. Di pulire la sua stanza. But this is still good anyway. Si prega, you know how we said ti prego? I think we said it in the last video, or maybe in this one here. Ti prego is I beg you. Si prega is now using the si impersonale, which we'll get to in another lesson. I've already got one on my channel. But si prega is a way of like, one would beg to clean the room. Sort of like how Queen Elizabeth used to speak. If you take a look at how she does it, she always would say, well, one would think, you know? Or we even speak like that when you're being super formal, right? Feels also like much older than myself. I wouldn't really speak that way, but maybe one day when I'm a grandfather, who knows? I'll say, you know, one would think, my grandson. Anyway, si prega di pulire la sua stanza, putting everything in that third person to be formal, right? But if I want to give a command, I would say lei or signore. Let's say signore. Signore, aspetti, right? Signore, aspetti. Putting this are verb in the congiuntivo presente form, right? Signore, aspetti. Sir, wait. Pulisca la tavola. Sir, wait. Clean the table. Pulisca la tavola prima di andare. Prima di andare. Before you go, or prima di andare via. Signore, aspetti. Pulisca la tavola prima di andare via. Grazie. It's good stuff, guys. This is all real, authentic Italian that you can hear all the time. All the time. So let's do avere and essere. Avere and essere are irregular. We haven't yet done irregular verbs. We've always done regular verbs. Let's go now to verbi irregolari. So irregolare is the singular. Oops. We want this. Irregolare. And then we'll do negative commands. It's really easy. It's nothing really special. So that we'll close on that. Or we'll even include it with the avere and essere. All you do is put non before the verb. You still conjugate it. That's it. Okay. Anyway, let's do avere and essere. We'll start with essere. So take a look at how irregular this is here, okay? We're going to have tu, we're going to have noi, we're going to have voi, and we're going to have lei. Okay, setting it up. Tu is si, with two I's. Just roll with it. Noi siamo. Voi siate, the congiuntivo presente form. And lei sia. Just roll with it. It's irregular. Just roll with it, okay? So if I want to tell you, be happy, all right? So let's see how we can say this to a number of people, right? So be happy, if I'm just telling you, be happy, right? So we're just going to say you. Be happy would be si felice. Si felice, be happy. What if I want to say you all, talking to a group? Siate felici, ragazzi. Siate felici. Gender and number agreement you got to do with S today. Siate felici. Be happy. And if I'm talking to you, formal, what do? Sia felice, signore. Si prega. Sia felice. Sia felice, signore. I want to show you this. Lei, or signore, sia felice. No, sia contento. There we go. Signore, sia contento. Signora, Signora, sia contenta, because now I'm talking to a woman, okay? Signore, sia contento. Like, be happy with what you're given. Signora, sia contenta. Cool, right? Let's do avere. Avere. Highly irregular as well. Tu, noi, voi, lei. Okay. Abbi. Abbiamo. Abbiate. Congiuntivo presente form here with the voi and with the lei. Lei abbia. Okay, so it's just memorization. If I want to tell you, have patience, you know? Have patience. We would say, abbi pazienza, amico mio, right? If I'm talking to one of my friends. Abbi pazienza, amico mio, tutto si risolve. Tutto si risolve. Which means, have patience, my friend. Everything gets resolved. Everything gets resolved. Tutto si risolve. If I'm talking to someone formally, I would say, signore, signora, abbia pazienza. Per favore. We could say, abbia pazienza, per favore, arrivo subito. There we go. I knew I wanted to add something else. Arrivo subito. So like, sir or ma'am, abbia pazienza, per favore, arrivo subito. Okay? Have patience. I'll be right there. Have patience. Nice, right? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Sweet. All right, so let me think. Let's do two other irregular verbs, okay? I want to give you guys some good amount of content. Let's do that. Let's do some other verbs here. Let's do sapere, and then I'll show you the negation. And as I said, maybe I'll just include it here. Okay, let's do sapere. We're going to set ourselves up here. Tu, noi, voi, lei. So tu e sappi. And this is a unique form. We don't see this elsewhere in Italian. Noi sappiamo. With these irregular verbs, it's only noi that looks familiar. And I guess the lei and the voi, because they're the congiuntivo presente forms. Voi sappiate. Lei sappia. Okay. So if I want to tell you something like, just know I'm here for you, right? Sappi che sono sempre qui per te, amica mia, if you're talking to a girl. Know that I'm always here for you, my friend. And if I want to speak to a person, I can say, Signore, sappia che faremo di tutto per risolvere I suoi problemi. There you go, I like that. Okay. What does this mean? This means, sir, know that we will do everything in order to resolve, or to resolve. We use per before the infinitive of a verb to mean in order to, or just simply to resolve your problems. We say your problems using the third person because we're saying lei. Remember, lei is third person. Okay? Literally, it means his, hers, or its, or theirs problems, or their problems. Yeah. But with the formal you, it means your problems. Cool. Now, just to use the non, because I really want to do it before we get too far into this with other verbs. I just want to show you really quickly negative commands. Negative commands. They're really easy. We say as follows. So let's take the next verb. We'll do andare, shall we? Okay. So we're going to do negative commands here, okay? In the tu, in the noi, in the voi, in the lei. Okay. This would be non andare. This would be non andiamo. Non andate. There are exclamations. Non vada. Using the congiuntivo presente form. So no matter what with lei, it's congiuntivo presente. Even in a negation, and there's no such thing as what we do here, where when we're talking to one person, we don't conjugate the verb. That's only with tu. The moment you get into lei, you still conjugate the verb. Okay? Now, in an affirmative, so let me write that down for you guys, okay? So, rule. Lei is always, this is yet again in the imperative, in the imperativo, lei is always conjugated in the congiuntivo presente form, no matter if saying an affirmative or positive, an affirmative or negative statement or command, let's say. I'm going to say command. Okay. Cool. That is our rule. Very important here. Always that way. Now, when it's affirmative, I'm going to show you what happens to andare. Andare is an irregular verb, okay? So we're still in this irregular situation. So that's the quick explanation of negative commands. I know I went through that really quickly, but as you can see, it's very easy. The benefit of a video is you can always rewind and pause, you know what I mean? That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So andare in the affirmative is as follows. Tu, noi, voi. We had a preview of this already. But tu is going to be va or vai. Vai is also acceptable. Noi is andiamo. Andiamo. Voi is andate. So even though it's irregular, we don't say the congiuntivo presente form for the voi here. So it doesn't work for all verbs, okay? But the lei form does. Lei is vada. So if I want to tell you go away, I can say va via. That means go away. You, go away. Va via. Oops. Va via. Let me rewrite that. Va via. Go away. Okay. If I want to tell someone formally go away, I would say vada via, signore. You know, go away, sir. Go away. Vada via. Rewrite that. Sorry, it's a little sloppy. Vada via. Signore. Signore, prego. You can also use prego on its own. Vada. So this means go away, sir, please. Go away. The reason why we use prego in formal situations, like if you ever enter a restaurant or a store in Italy, the person working there may just look at you and go, prego. Prego is a very old way of speaking in English. We don't speak this way anymore, but think of like, I don't know, feudalism, feudal England or something, when you had like the caste system and stuff like that. Or if you just think of the monarchy, they would speak saying, I beg you, be seated. Or, I beg you, your majesty. Or, I beg, please be seated. In fact, at the state opening of Parliament in the UK, take a look at it. There's videos on YouTube, all right? You will see the head of state, which is now the King of England, will tell, in the House of Lords, will tell all the houses, all the members of the House of Lords, my lords, pray be seated. My lords, pray be seated. So, comes from the verb pregare in Italian, which is to pray, but we use it as meaning you're welcome or please in this situation. Like, please, I beg of you, ask me whatever you want. You know, I ask you, what could I possibly do for you? Please, I pray. You tell me, what do you want? Cool, right? Cool stuff, guys. It's cool stuff. All right. We're going to end the lesson here. I think that's good. We're at like a half hour now, so we're going to end the lesson here. Definitely watch this a couple times. As I said in the last video, 2 to 3 person rule. Remember that? Take a lot of notes, do a lot of writing. That'll help. That'll help. I have planned out another lesson on this using object pronouns. So we're going to do that next. So great stuff, guys. All great stuff. Be sure to check out the videos we've done. Stay tuned for the videos that are to come. And always remember to spread the love, guys. Alla prossima. Ciao.